Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. It's Monday afternoon. I went out on shopping and errands today and I made 8 stops. More on that later. But I realized there were 2 items of unfinished business from the market recap from yesterday. I did explain in the comments, but I probably should say it on a video, what happened with the scissors. Like I said, I used them to cut the plastic wrap off my wire grids when I started setting up. But then a little while later, when I went to cut some price notes apart, couldn't find them. When I sat down, got everything all set up, sat down, got working, I made that micro Octo. When I went to stuff him, and I pulled my bag of stuffing out of the craft bag, my scissors were in with the stuffing. Apparently, when I just tossed the scissors into the craft bag, I managed to toss them into the little opening of the stuffing bag. Wow, I'm good. So, and then when I was going through my setup bag, I did find a Ziploc bag that has pens and pencils and tape, and that had a pair of scissors in there too. So everything worked out. I also wanted to break down the price ranges for the 22 items I sold. You think, wow, she sold 22 items at a craft show. That must have been hundreds of dollars in sales. Well, of the 22 items, 11 were $5 or under. And another 5 were between $6 and $9. So there you have 16 items of the 22 are under $10. 3 items were in the $10 to $14 range. 2, the dress-up ducks, were in the $15 to $19 range. And 1, Hildy the Highland Cow, for $20. So it was mostly little stuff at this show. I don't know if that's just the way people were shopping or if it was the way I set up. Like I didn't have any of my love cats out. I just ran out of space setting up. I think I should have displayed some love cats. I think they might have sold. But I need to be more judicious about what gets put out. I'm trying to make up a list of 26 categories that I can put in all the cubby holes behind my table at the next show. Dragons. I didn't have dragons at this show. Cats. Love cats. They didn't go out at this show. What else didn't go out? Well, axolotls were getting a lot of attention. I didn't sell any. Axolotls are going to get their own little cubby hole. So I'm working on it. It's just in my brain now. It's not written down anywhere. So I decided I was going to allow myself to buy some yarn. Since March has been very good so far, I'm in the black. I don't know if I'll stay in the black all through March because this is the month where I have to pay my New York State sales tax. Bah humbug. It's so confusing trying to navigate their website. And then I have to pay them money. It's not fun. But I figured I'm going to go buy some yarn. My husband has been wanting me to drop off an item from a child item that's been in the attic for decades. Drop that off at a thrift store. Get it out of the house. Went to the thrift store. No, that's further down the line. So, okay, we've got the car I got my canvas bags back in the car. My coupon boxes back in the car. Got my shopping list made up. The donations there. Okay, I'm all set to go. I got out a little bit after 10. First stop. Okay, what was the first stop? First stop was at Aldi. because there's a bunch of stuff that Aldi carries that we really like. Got their oat creamer. They have a black bean and corn salsa. They have fire roasted tomatoes, cans of tomatoes. If I'm putting a can of tomatoes into chili, they have fire roasted tomatoes. Those are better. Okay, fire roasted tomatoes. And they have an oil spray, like grapeseed oil, that if you just want a very light spraying of oil, like if you're putting something in the air fryer and you're supposed to spray it with oil. So I got that. And I got a few, and Good Belly juice, because I like to make my kombucha with that juice. They have a blackberry flavor. So I got all that stuff. Then, a little further down the road, I went to the bank and made the deposit for the craft show money. And then, down around the corner, went to Consumer Beverage. I had a coupon. In New York State, like water bottles, pop cans, pop bottles, beer bottles, all this has a 5-cent container deposit. So we don't drink pop all that much. Soda in some areas, we call it pop. Every once in a while we'll have bottled water. Sometimes I'll get flavored waters when I'm checking out at the store and I'm thirsty. So I have a big plastic bag out in the garage. It was getting pretty full. I had a coupon for 6 cents off per can instead of 5 cents. So I stopped in there. Got that taken care of. Went over to the thrift store. They would not take the infant bouncer because they say older items intended for infants, they don't know if there's any recalls or if it's not safe for kids, so they wouldn't take it. Okay. Then I went over to Joann's. I went in there and I looked around and I shopped, but the only yarn they had was wool blends and bizarre stuff, and they just didn't have the kind of yarn that I was looking for. Okay, out of there. Joann's. Big signs up in the window. Liquidation sale. Everything in the store 20 to 40% off. Good luck finding anything 40% off. Everything was 20% off. Valentine's Day stuff. It's a month past Valentine's Day. That should be 75% off. It was 20% off. Christmas stuff. That should be like 90% off. 20% off. And went back. Okay. There's a picture of the yarn aisle. Nope. Not seeing much here. There was no signage over the crochet hooks and knitting needles. So I don't know if those were discounted. I went down and I looked at the books. They were 20% off. But there wasn't a single crochet. I don't think there was a single crochet book left there. Definitely no amigurumi books. Okay. What about safety eyes? Went over, looked at the safety eyes. 20% off. And like $2.79 for 6 pairs of safety eyes. I'm better off buying them in bulk on Amazon. So I passed on it. If they were 40% off, maybe I would have gone for it. How about packing tape? All glue and tape, 10% off. And there's a woman with Joann's, walking around. And I said, is this right? I mean, out the front, the signs say everything in store 20 to 40% off. And this says the glue and tape are only 10% off. And she goes, up to 20 to 40% off. I don't think it says up to on the signs. Yeah. So I walked out of Joann's with one purchase. Karen's Simply Soft Party. Because I am all out of sparkly silver yarn. I think it came down to like $4.35 after the 20% discount. Or was it 25? I don't have my receipt right here. So I'm like, okay, I'll go over to Michael's. Because Michael's tells me that they'll give me a $15 voucher. A $5 voucher if I spend $15. I go into Michael's. None of the yarn is on sale. Nope, just all regular price. Nope, I don't pay regular price. Nope. And an employee greeted me and asked, if there's anything she could help me with. And I said, are there any clearance yarns? Oh yeah, there's a few right here, and there's some up against that wall. Well, Karen Chunky Cupcakes. They come with a pom-pom so that you can make a striped hat, a striped beanie, and put the pom-pom on it. They were usually $11, and they were marked down to $5. So I got 3 of them. I spent my $15. And then I got home, and I read the fine print on the offer. And these don't qualify because they're clearance. So, yeah, I got some cute yarn, but I did not, I didn't get the bargain I thought I was getting. So, went and did my grocery shopping. That went off well. I actually got out of the store for under $100. Could be because I'd already gotten a bunch of stuff at Aldi, but I pretty much stuck to my list. I did well there. Then, on the way home, I had to back up to the first thrift store, to Savers. When I went into the store, this woman was like, hey, I was behind you. And I thought she was talking to somebody else. And then she comes up, excuse me, she goes, I was behind you when you tried to make your donation. What was it they wouldn't take? And I told you, it was this bouncy horse seat for kids. And it's got, a little bouncy horse. If they're toddlers, they can bounce on it. If they're little, you can put a little bucket seat on and put them in there. And she goes, oh, that you could sell that for about, I couldn't even give it away. So she goes, Hearts for the Homeless. They've got a new store, and she tells me, okay, I know where that is. So I went over there. I've got groceries in the back seat. I've got stuff in the front seat because this horse was taking up the back of my car. And I went up to the donation section and said, you want this? Sure, we'll take it. Yay! So since they did me a favor by taking it off my hands, I didn't have to cart it home again. I went into their store and went shopping. And guess what they had? Yarn. Now this is a little bit more than I would usually pay for thrift store yarn. This is Kmart yarn. It's the first one is 3 skeins for $4.99. What's that come out to? $1.67 each. Usually I only go about $1 at garage sales, thrift stores, but I figured they were nice enough to take the thing off my hands, and it's Hearts for the Homeless, so I got 2 bags, mostly white with some pink. So it was $4.99 each. Came to $10.85 with tax. So then I came home and had I had lunch in the Wegmans parking lot. I bought myself a little takeout tray of Chinese food from their Asian food bar, sesame chicken and some fried rice. Had that in the car, and before I continued my errands. So groceries are pretty much put away. Oh, I had a scare this morning. I have to tell you about that. I when I'm tired, the trains of thought go off the rails sometimes. So, as I was making up my to-do list, what I had to do before I left, I've got to get the cash for my deposit. I've got to get the coupon for the bottles and cans. I got to put the bottles and cans in the car. I need to put my shopping bags, my canvas bags back in the car because I'd clean them up for the craft show, all that stuff. I came back here looking for my setup bag that held the cash box. It's not in here. Okay, maybe I put it in the other room. Go into the other room. It's not here either. Did I leave my setup bag in the gym? It's got my cash box in it. All my money. I came back in here and looked in here again. Nope. Went back there and looked in there again. And I found it. It was, I had my cart with 2 totes and 2 bags, and it was like crammed on top of the totes with these 2 bags. It's like, I don't usually put this, it's a rolling backpack. And it's pretty big, so I don't usually put it on top of the totes. So maybe I just put it there once I got home. But whew, so glad I found that. So I pulled out all the big bills and deposited them. Got that off my list for the day. So my total round trip today was 49 miles and 8 stops. And I have 6,540 steps. It was a busy day. So now I am afraid to go out and sit in my chair and work on anything, because I am sure as soon as I sit in that chair and pull up that blanket, I'm going to be out. Last week I told you about the Toy Box Crochet Along, where every Monday there's going to be a new free pattern released. This week it is an amigurumi mushroom boy by Blackstone Designs. Now she has it made up with an N hook and super bulky yarn. I would give it a try with worsted weight and an F hook. See how that turns out. So it's the Underground Crafter is the one who is organizing the crochet along. If you were to search like Underground Crafter 2025 Toy Box Crochet Along, you'd probably find her post. You can subscribe to the post to get notifications. I just happened to see it on Facebook and like, oh yeah, it's Monday, new pattern. Yeah, add that to my list of stuff to do. I need to find my pink dry erase board that is back here someplace, and I want to write on the dry erase board my goals for the week. And I just keep adding to them. And I got an Etsy order yesterday for a butter lamb. Apparently, I was not as diligent as I thought in removing things from Etsy once they sold at the show, because she bought one that sold at the show on Saturday. So I'm taking the dimensions from the Etsy listing, and I got the same colors yarn, and I'm trying to make an exact duplicate of that butter lamb so I can get that order out. Yep, I thought I was keeping up with things. Apparently I was not. So it's time for me to go work on stuff for my to-do list and play with yarn and hope that I don't fall asleep. This time change is messing with me. I'm going to try really hard not to take a nap, to stay awake until the clock says it's like 10 o'clock or maybe 11. Because if the clock Spring ahead. So if the clock says it's 10, my body is saying it's 9. I don't know if I can go to bed at 9. But wait till the clock says 11. Is that the mail Jeep? I'm getting a package today. It might be out there. I'll have to check the mail. My Amazon package is coming today for the book. So I'll tell you about that tomorrow because I'm already over 20 minutes. So all this rambling. Did I finish the story I was telling you? Who knows? I'm tired. So I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you for watching. And hopefully tomorrow I will have my act together a little bit better. Bye-bye.